Yes, good morning, all students. How are you? Yes, Suritej. I am fine. And how are you all? Good. Nice, nice. Very good, very good. And I think, Sridayan, very good, very good. And any homework is there? I don't think there is homework for today. Yes or no? No homework, na? Before POC, the answers I have given na, for structural identification, structural isomerism. IUPAC nomenclature, structural isomerism, everything is over. From the notes, sheet, DPP. Structural identification, you are starting. I told you to solve section A and B. Yes or no? That I think we have discussed. Section A and B. Monochlorination. Have we discussed structural identification? Exercise 1, part 1 and part 2. Not discussed. But you have solved section A and B. Pritam, you can ask in the half an hour doubt session will be there in every class. Half an hour, 40 minutes time is given for doubts, asking the doubts from the next week onwards. This week this is not possible because we are having IP exams. So from next week, when 2-hour class is there, last 30 minutes, 40 minutes we give for the doubts. In that time, you can ask all the questions, all your doubts, previous, present, everything. Okay, see if anybody have not solved, again I am telling, for tomorrow, complete structural identification, section A and B from both part 1 and part 2. Understanding? Okay, so going to the concept now, this is a JPR 1, JPR 1, JPR 1. Where did we stop? In which reaction we have stopped for you? Acidic hydrogen we have discussed, I think. Then test for unsaturation also we have discussed. Victor-Mayer test. Very good, very good. Okay. So after Victor-Mayer test, we need to start with identification of phenols and enols. Yes, identification of phenols and enols. Let me share the screen. Many are there, Monish. Still, we have done 2-3 functional groups only, na? Just we have done for alkenes and alkynes 1, terminal alkynes 2, acidic hydrogen 3, and then alcohols we have taken 4. Actually, for each functional group, the identification test will be there. Okay, na? And that is the reason, if you observe, why the chapter is kept at the starting itself, so that you will be having the entire 2 years time for you to become a confident or to memorize, to remember, to by heart in whatever way you think. Lot of time will be there. These are introduced now itself so that you will become familiarized with these all points. Even there are many, but as time is more available, so day to day you will be remembering them better. I told you to message to the co-host. Yes, this is about the Victor Mayer test we have taken. Victor Mayer test we have taken. The next is put the heading as a test for phenols and enols. And one thing I thought of telling you, we have taken here CAN test. This one, CAN reagent we have taken. This one, ferric ammonium nitrate. The formula for ferric ammonium nitrate is NH4 twice, write down, cerium, Ce, NO3 taken 6. Qualitative and quantitative analysis is not there, Monish. I told na, everybody again listen. The syllabus for the IP exam is IUPAC nomenclature and structural isomerism. Okay na? In the NCERT textbook or your I will tell you from the directly from the Telugu Academy textbook, so that as you are reading from Telugu Academy book itself, it will be more meaningful. Okay na? So from the first year syllabus, here it is called as intermediate, na? But we call it as 11th and 12th as the curriculum is based on CBSE. But here inter first year, second year. So inter first year syllabus, 13th chapter. Chapter name is Organic Chemistry. Some basic principles and techniques. In that chapter, from 13.1 to 13.6, you have to study. Got it? IPE test syllabus. Okay na? And already the important questions, IP material, everything are already shared with you. So just go through it. But what I advise you seriously is first focus on the concepts. Try to catch the concepts, and from the concepts, you should understand the concepts in such a manner that you are able to write the answer by your own, rather than depending on important questions or most frequent questions like that. The important questions or most frequent questions you can go through, but that should be at the end revision like something. But initially, you should not depend directly. You should not go to the important questions and prepare only that questions. That is very much wrong in your preparation. So don't do that. Develop your subjects. Develop the concepts. Okay na? Chalo. So going to this one. So this you have copied na? Ferric ammonium nitrate. So now coming to next test, that is a test for phenols and enols. Phenols and enols. You know what are phenols and enols? Already I have told you the compounds in which OH group is attached to sp2 carbon. sp2 carbon are called phenols and enols. So these phenols and enols can be identified by neutral FeCl3 test. A freshly prepared neutral FeCl3, when it is treated with phenols or enols, it will be forming a violet colored complex. The solution will convert into violet color. So this is the identification test for phenols and enols. And alcohols. Alcohols means what? OH attached to sp3 carbon. OH attached to sp3 carbon are alcohols. They will not give this reaction. Understanding? Exclusively for phenols and enols. Copy this page. Last page means this one. This already completed, na? Victor Mayer test. Victor Mayer test is the last page. IPE test syllabus. Array. IPE test syllabus is 13th chapter. You should write it, na? By now you should write it. Even in the planner also it is there. 13th chapter, that is some basic principles and techniques in organic chemistry. 13th chapter, 13.1 to 13.6. Completed? Everything to remember, Roshan. Everything to remember. If you are remembering means complete. It is not like will it be sufficient to remember only 1 point, 2 points, or what is the most important point that I have to remember? I will remember only that point. That all will not work for JEE exams. Okay, na? From A to Z, first page to last page, everything, every diagram, every unit, value, definition, concept, everything we have to understand and also remember, memorize. If 70% is understanding, then 30% is to memorize them also. Understanding? Suppose if 5 points are there, and I need to apply these 5 points in the given sequence itself. If I know the 5 points, if you give the hint, I may recollect the any of the point, but that is not sufficient. I should able to write by myself. What are the 5 points and also what is their sequence. That is what memorizing or remembering them. Okay, na? Just understanding will not be efficient. Okay, next. Violet color, Srinayan, what are you asking? Violet is the color, na? You know violet color. Huh? Test for carbonyl compounds. Next is the test for carbonyl compounds. For carbonyl compounds, you know what are carbonyl compounds? Carbonyl compounds are compounds with a C double bond O as the functional group. C double bond O as the functional group. And in this C double bond O, two types of compounds will be having C double bond O as the functional group. they are aldehydes and ketones. Aldehydes and ketones. And both aldehydes and ketones together, we call them as carbonyl compounds. Aldehydes plus ketones. Suppose the C double bond O is there. This is having C double bond O. At least one hydrogen is present. And another side, hydrogen or alkyl group is present. Hydrogen or alkyl group is present. Then it is aldehyde. We know this point, na? And if both sides of C double bond O, if alkyl groups only are there, then it is ketone. But basically, you see, this is C double bond O, this is also C double bond O. Understanding? If at least one hydrogen is there, then they are aldehydes. If both side alkyl groups only are there, then they are ketones. Okay, na? And first test is a 2,4-DNP test. 2,4-DNP test is a common test to identify anyone, either aldehyde or ketone. It will not distinguish between aldehyde and ketone, but will identify it as C double bond O group is present or not. Okay. So carbonyl groups, carbonyl compounds, aldehydes or ketones will give yellow-orange colored precipitate with a 2,4-DNP. DNP means dinitrophenylhydrazine. DNP, 2,4-DNP means dinitrophenylhydrazine. This is a reagent you see, 2,4-DNP or 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazine or Brady's reagent. This is the name of the reagent. This is the structure of the compound. 1, 2. If you want, I will give the numbers also. You see, numbering starts from there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2, 4 dinitrophenyl. This is a hydrazine. This is a hydrogen. Got it? And such a 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazine, if that is reagent, when it is reacted with a carbonyl compound, there will be elimination of water molecule like this. And then a direct double bond will be formed between carbon and nitrogen. That is what this compound is. And this is a 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazine, and this product formed is called a 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazone. And this is only yellow-orange colored precipitate. Yellow-orange colored precipitate. What the point? Like this, to the unknown organic compound, if you add, suppose there is a conical flask you have taken. In this, you are given with some unknown organic compound. To that, you want to recognize whether it is an carbonyl compound or not. You will add few drops of 2,4-DNP, Brady's reagent. If the solution color will change to yellow-orange, then the initial unknown organic compound given to you, you can confirm that it is a carbonyl compound. Maybe an aldehyde or ketone, but it is a carbonyl compound. Okay, copy this page. Completed? Before POC it is completed. Already discussed, na? Answers are given. Then I think two questions should be there. Two questions should be there. Yes, Siddharth, completed. Now we see, we have taken this 2,4-DNP test to identify as an overall functional group without differentiating it as aldehyde or ketone. Now we are going to identify or distinguish between aldehyde and ketone. And there are tests for the identification of aldehydes. Very beautiful tests are there. 4 tests are there. Tollens test, Fehling's, Benedict's, and Ship's test. All named reactions, named tests are there. And using these tests, we can identify aldehydes, and there are no direct tests for the identification of ketones. Okay, so what we can do here is once we confirm that the given compound is an carbonyl compound, and if we get a positive test for the aldehyde, it means that aldehyde is present but not ketone. If we get a negative test for carbonyl compound, if we get a negative test for aldehyde, it means that aldehyde is absent but ketone is present, because you got positive for carbonyl group. Once you got positive for carbonyl group, either aldehyde or ketone should be there. If aldehyde is positive, then ketone is a negative. If aldehyde is a negative, then ketone is positive. Understanding the logic? So in this manner, once you confirm that it is a carbonyl compound, you can confirm whether it is a ketone or aldehyde also on the basis of aldehyde identification tests. On the basis of aldehyde identification tests. Okay, so that let us discuss. Test for aldehydes. Test for aldehydes. In this one, first one is a Tollens reagent. By Tollens reagent, ammonical silver nitrate solution is the reagent. Ammonical silver nitrate solution, nothing but silver nitrate dissolved in ammonium hydroxide. That is this one. This is also written as in this manner. AgNH3 twice plus OH minus. In any manner it is written. It is a Tollens reagent only. And it is present, overall it is present in the form of Ag plus ion only. Overall it is present in the form of Ag plus ion only. And now the aldehyde, when it is treated with the Tollens reagent, the aldehyde will be oxidized to carboxylate or carboxylic acid, and Ag plus whatever is there, that will be reduced to Ag. So it is a reduction oxidation reaction or redox reaction. In fact, to say every reaction is a redox reaction only. But here, just to explain, to understand better, I am giving it in this manner. +1, from +1 oxidation state, it is going to 0 oxidation state. Decrease in oxidation state is reduction. And increase in oxidation state is oxidation. That is one way of defining reduction and oxidation reactions. Okay, so point is very simple. If at all, if the carbonyl compound is an aldehyde, it will reduce Ag plus to Ag. and Ag is insoluble in water, that it will immediately precipitate out, but it will precipitate in the form of silver mirror. It means that when you are doing a reaction in a glass tube, let us assume this reaction you are doing in a glass tube. If you are doing the reaction properly, then whatever this silver is precipitating, it will be precipitated in the form of a very beautiful silver mirror, beautiful layer. Even you can see your face also on it. So that much a beautiful silver layer will be formed, silver coating will be formed inside, that you can use it as a mirror also. Suppose if any impurities are there, or you are not doing the reaction properly without proper attention, then you don't get it as a silver layer, you will get it as a black PPT. But still, black precipitate also indicates that it is a silver precipitate only. So this is a confirmation whether aldehyde is present or not, and whether the given compound is aldehyde or not. And another point is, you see, these are all the compounds which will give positive test with a silver nitrate solution. Positive result, not only the positive result, but also with the silver mirror or black precipitate. Silver mirror or black precipitate. And if you observe here, this is aldehyde. There is an aldehyde functional group. Okay. This is also aldehyde functional group is there. Okay. But these remaining three compounds, even not directly having aldehyde functional group, maybe formic acid, it is visible that aldehyde functional group is there, but till then, as I am showing it as an C double bond OH, you may recognize it as aldehyde functional group. Otherwise, if it is written like this, it is seen as a carboxylic acid functional group, HCOOH, carboxylic acid functional group. So formic acid is basically a carboxylic acid, but interestingly, from the opposite side, it is having aldehyde functional group. Therefore, this also will give this reaction. And these two compounds, alpha hydroxyketone and phenyl hydroxylamine, are the two exceptions, special compounds which do not have aldehyde functional group, but still will give the same result. Maybe this product will be different because this reactant is different here, but this silver mirror will be same with this one and also with this one. These points you have to remember. These are the points they will stress in advanced level, because exceptions everybody will not know it. Those who know the concepts very well, very strongly, will be knowing all the points related to it. That is why you have to focus maximum into the concepts. Okay na? So these are the groups which will give silver mirror or black PPT. So whenever you are using a tolerance reagent with these functional groups, you can call it as silver mirror test. Silver mirror test. But tolerance reagent already we have used for identification of terminal alkynes. But that is not a silver mirror test. That is only tolerance test, but should not be called as silver mirror test. The reason is you will not get silver mirror here. You will be getting a white PPT. Whenever terminal alkyne is present, a white precipitate is formed. Okay. So different applications are there. You can understand. There are some reactions in which Ag plus is converted into Ag, so that you can call it as silver mirror test. But there are some other reactions also in which tolerance reagent is not giving any silver mirror PPT. Instead, it is giving a white precipitate. White precipitate. Different applications are there for tolerance reagent. Okay, na? Copy this page. Solution. Ammonical silver nitrate solution. Nitrate solution. Hey, what is the link with Roshan? Lucas test, Victor Mayer test are over. They are for alcohols. This is for carbonyl compounds, aldehydes and ketones. Don't mix all the reactions. Wherever I have given, you cut them there itself. Understanding? That is what it is written now down. Tollens reagent is used for the identification of terminal alkynes also, but the output is different. Therefore, whenever you are using a Tollens reagent with a terminal alkynes, you should not call it a silver mirror test. Completed, everyone? Next. Second reaction for the identification of aldehydes, that is Fehling's reagent. See, there are two reagents, both together I will explain. Fehling's reagent is there and Benedict's reagent is there. Both are in Cu2 plus. Fehling's or Benedict's, both are in Cu2 plus. And if aldehyde is present, the Cu2 plus, which is blue colored, will be converting into Cu plus in the form of Cu2O, which is a red PPT, red precipitate. When will it convert a blue colored solution into red colored precipitate? When there is an aldehyde functional group. If ketone is there, we don't get the reaction. That means blue color will be present as it is only. And this is the concept common for both Fehling's and Benedict's reagents. Only thing is the way the Fehling's reagent is taken and Benedict's reagent is taken are different. Okay, na? Otherwise, concept is same. Blue colored copper 2 plus will be reduced to red precipitate of Cu plus or Cu2O, cuprous oxide. Okay, na? So now I will explain you see what all the hidden concept is there inside this one. That is it is an Fehling solution first. It is an alkaline solution. Alkaline means basic solution. It is an alkaline solution of cupric ion complexed with sodium potassium tartarate. Sodium potassium tartarate. Tartaric acid. There is tartaric acid, and if you take the salt of that tartaric acid, it is a tartarate. Okay, this is tartaric acid, and it's a salt is taken this one. Okay, sodium potassium tartarate. First point you see there is a solution A, that is a copper sulfate solution, and it is dark blue in color. We know it. And the solution B is an alkaline solution of sodium potassium tartarate, which is also called as Rochelli salt. Rochelli salt. Okay. Now, when these two solutions are mixed in equal quantities, like 5 ml, 5 ml, 10 ml, 10 ml, like that, then what will happen? This copper sulfate starts reacting with the alkali present in this solution and forms cupric hydroxide first. And this cupric hydroxide will be reacting with this Rochelli salt, sodium potassium tartarate, and will form this final compound. This final compound is blue in color. This is a complex compound which will react with aldehyde, and will convert this Cu2 plus into Cu plus, that is red precipitate. Understanding? That means from Fehling's reagent, this is a final compound. This compound will go and react with aldehyde. Okay, na? And that is what it is written here. When equal volumes of both solutions A and B are heated with an organic compound, and if the blue color changes to red brown precipitate, or simply red PPT also you can call it as. Red only when it becomes more and more dark, it becomes like brown in color. Okay, na? Red brown precipitate of cuprous oxide, then it confirms the presence of aldehyde. The reaction I have given, any of the reaction you can use here, either this one or this one. Okay, na? Both are same. Both will express the same meaning also. Aldehyde on reaction with cupric oxide. Cupric oxide means Cu plus. We know na? The reagent will be present in the form of Cu2 plus. And aldehyde with the Cu2 plus will be forming carboxylic acid and Cu2O. That means copper from +2 oxidation state, it is becoming +1 oxidation state. Then it will be a red colored precipitate. Or aldehyde on reaction with the Cu2 plus in presence of alkaline medium will form RCOO minus carboxylate and Cu plus precipitate. That is again red PPT only. Got it? And if you come to Benedict's reagent, you see the whole concept is same. Only difference is here whatever you have used sodium potassium tartarate and sodium potassium tartarate, in place of sodium potassium tartarate you will use here citric acid, sodium citrate. This is a citric acid. Okay, na? Sodium citrate will be used, and this sodium citrate first this reaction will happen, and then this sodium citrate with the copper hydroxide will react and will form the final compound of Benedict's reagent, and this compound will go and react with aldehyde and will convert it into red PPT. Understanding? So conceptually both are same, only the difference is in the nature of the type of the reagents they have taken. Okay, so similar type of reaction we have written for this also. And last one is, you see, Schiff's reagent. Schiff's reagent is a very interesting reagent. Actually, Schiff's reagent is pink in color. What is it present within Schiff's reagent is para-rosanilin hydrochloride is a compound. Para-rosanilin hydrochloride is a compound, and that is pink color. Now, what you will do is you will send sulfur dioxide gas to this Schiff's reagent, and sulfur dioxide is a bleaching agent. So it will remove the pink color of Schiff's reagent. Schiff's reagent will become colorless due to passage of sulfur dioxide. Intentionally, we are decolorizing Schiff's reagent pink color. Now, when this decolorized Schiff's reagent comes in contact with aldehyde, its pink color will be restored. Pink color will reappear. So reappearance of pink color itself is the indication for the presence of aldehyde. If aldehyde is present, then the lost pink color will be regained back. Understanding? So that is what a logical test, identification test for Schiff's reagent. There is no chemical reactions. We don't write for Schiff's reagent, much complexities. So just conceptual understanding is required. Okay. Na? So interesting, all three reactions interesting. In fact, tolerance is also very interesting and important also. So write this one, Fehling's reagent. Hey, it is not like what will happen. It will be like the reaction may be incomplete if you do not add equal volumes. You will not get the desired the product in the desired quantity. Copy this page. Completed? Tartaric acid. Yes, Anand. First, copper sulfate reacted with NaOH. It forms a cupric hydroxide plus sodium sulfate. Now, this cupric hydroxide will be reacting with Rochelli salt. So, whatever these H plus ions are there, na, two OH minus ions are here. First OH minus ion will go with the H plus ion, and second OH minus ion also will go with the H plus ion. That means there will be elimination of two water molecules, and it results in the formation of this compound, blue colored complex compound. The next page. Done. Don't do MS Chauhan now at present. You completely complete your sheet and DBP. No other book is preferred before completing your material. Because that is the ultimately it is the Cu plus which will be participating in the reaction. Cu2 plus, Cu2 plus or CuO. In CuO also it is Cu2 plus only present. So no need to take the whole complex compound and then write the reaction. Instead of sodium potassium tartarate, if you take a sodium citrate, it will be Benedict's reagent. Negative charge circled or positive charge circled. Sometimes a negative charge or positive charge are written with the circles. Anion, cation, these. Completed Prasanna, Narasimha, Lokesh. It is the same reaction as explained with the Fehling's reagent. And Prasanna Rishi, next. Completed. Yes. Those who have completed can leave. By passing SO2 gas. By passing SO2 gas. To maintain the alkaline medium, you are adding NaOH. Yes, it is a para-rosanilin hydrochloride. Yes, Prasanna and Lokesh. Chalo, we'll meet tomorrow.